Hey guys, Andy here. Today I'll be having a slightly different style video. Today I'm going to be learning about Ayrton Senna, more specifically his rather unusual throttle technique. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's a quick history lesson. If you don't know who Ayrton Senna is, what are you doing here for a start? He was one of the greatest racing drivers ever, arguably the best. He was very successful through the late 80s to early 90s, with his career unfortunately being cut short after a tragic accident at Imola racing circuit in Italy. What made him unique though was his many unusual ways to get the car to go quickly and the way he wanted it to. One of these weird techniques he'd use is this weird throttle blipping thing that he did, where he'd mash the throttle aggressively coming out of corner. Now, naturally this is seen as not a good thing because you're disturbing the weight balance from front to back on the car. You'd usually want to go on gently to sort of gently take the weight off the front wheels as you're coming out of a corner. People think he did this because he drove a lot of turbo cars, which they got rid of in 1989, but the turbos were so aggressive that he'd mash the throttle to keep the turbo spooled up, which would keep the power on tap at all times, rather than him coming out of the corner and having to wait to press the throttle fully to get the power back. So it would kind of keep the power up, which for a car back then, especially the old cars with their odd suspension, they didn't have as much rake. So if you did this in a new car, a modern F1 car, you'd get the car going back and forth and back and forth. It wouldn't be beneficial. But back then it was alright because, well, the turbos were just that crazy. So today I'm going to be learning how to do this and hoping, well, not to crash. I'll have a pedal cam set up this time, a bit different than usual, and, well, let's see how I get on with it. Alright, so here we are in Assetto Corsa. Now I'm going to be doing or replicating a lap that Senna did for qualifying, which was in his Lotus 98T around Brands Hatch. I should have looked up what the qualifying lap was first. Let me do that. I'm so prepared for this, haven't I? So the lap time was what was it? The lap time was 1 minute 7 seconds .525. We'll just do it to 0.5 because I'm not quite sure how many decimal places Assetto Corsa puts in the timings. But the goal is not to beat that. In fact, the goal is not even to get close to that because I just know I won't. So I'm just going to try and get the hang of his driving technique. Now, I did a bit of test driving before this, and I could actually start to get the hang of it. I was just spitting out a lot. This won't be a long video, don't worry. I'm going to cut out all the really bad laps. The whole lap is going to be at the end of the video, so stay for that, my best lap. So here goes. And I have the pedal cam this time because might need it. Now, I did say at the start that it was believed that people say he did this because of the turbo in this car. If you can see the gauge on the right there in front of the steering wheel, that is the that is the turbo boost. And the reason I say it's believed instead of saying it's a fact is that he actually did it in his karting career, because of course in a kart there is no ABS and it's rear brakes, rear wheel drive, no suspension, just really simple machine. And because of this, you get a lot of rear lockup when you'd slam the brakes, so you'd press the throttle at the same time to avoid rear lockup and, you know, spinning out, because rear lockup is pretty bad. It's like ripping the handbrake in the car. And oh wow, oh, save that. So he would actually start mashing the throttle while he was driving to try and keep the back from locking up, and he was able to just sort of bring that into his Formula 1 career, and it became useful when he was doing the turbo thing. So naturally it just well, I was going to use an example, but I'll take this next lap to show you what I mean. So naturally you would go nice and easy in, and you'd sort of ease onto the throttle out of the corner like that. The problem is you have to wait basically for half throttle before the boost starts kicking in, or for a certain amount of RPMs. What Senna would do is he would just go like this, and he'd keep the revs up. My driving will be a bit cleaner when I'm doing the actual laps. So let's get going. Set myself up nice for this next lap. I do like to keep the dials off the screen, so if I finish a nice clean lap, I will put the dials up at the last second, the UI, and just to check what time it was, and then I'll turn it back off. So here goes, first attempt. Okay, not particularly good. Could have done a bit more throttle blipping there. Now this corner it's quite hard to do that because the revs are so low, but if you're not going fast enough you'll just spin out, as I almost did there. See, that's what happens. I'm probably going to be recording for quite some time before I actually get a moderately good lap in. Alright, here goes. My ear is rather itchy right now, that's not good. Now, I can never get this corner right, as you can just see there. That wasn't the worst though, I managed to save that somehow. It's a fourth gear one, or it can be done in third gear. Fourth gear if you're brave. I'm gonna try and be brave, because that's what Senna was. Oh wow. Managed to keep that one on the ground. And it's quite a tough thing to do in these old manual cars, but you want to keep both hands on the wheel as much as possible, because then you'll have the most control over your car. Oh wow, too wide. At least now I can scratch my ear. Alright, here we go. Another attempt. Here we go. Get the boost up. Managed to remember to get into third that time. Alright, be nice and careful here, because you turn in too hard at low speeds and then you get that tail end kicking out. Oh, see, you know, it's good to set yourself up wide for corners to get good exits, obviously, but if you set yourself up too wide, you'll have to turn in so hard that the tail just does not have enough grip. So you have to look out for that. As you can see, that last corner, I just cannot take it properly for the life of me. Here we go, second gear corner. Oh no! Ooh, ooh! Save it! Ah! Come on, show me the time, show me the time! Oh wow! Got some ways to go. Don't need to see what the actual time was there. Problem is, you need to spend a lot of time looking at that boost gauge. Make sure you are in the boost range, because this is the first time I've actually driven this car in this game. It is of course in Project Cars, but it is literally impossible to drive in that game. This is gonna take a while. Not exactly the best start of the lap, but it'll do. You know, have minimal steering inputs is a good thing, because then you can keep all the speed up and you have more time to be putting down the power. Now this corner, I swear, this corner is the death of me. Maybe I have to do it in first to keep the boost high enough, because it's just not cutting it. But the problem with being a first is that it's a little bit hard to tame. There's a close one there. I don't know if I was if I did a strong enough heel and toe. Oh, I went a bit wide. I might have to slow down a bit more for that one. Boost, keep that boost up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That was actually a decent lap. I mean, comparatively. Alright, I am way off. I might look at some footage of Senna doing this track and maybe, oh wow, that was very bad. Maybe learn a thing or two about the lines, and then I'll post a standalone lap time and see how I do then. I might return to this. Oh, oh! That was close. Oh, oh, I nearly had that one. I nearly saved that one. Well, if I don't get a lap, let's see if I can at least get the technique right. Oh, looking a lot better than my previous laps. Not better than Senna's, obviously, but still. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. That was a lovely, clean one. Alright. Man, I don't know how they drove these cars. Like, I know I'm those guys. I'm one of those guys that doesn't like to say, you know, that they're all driving computers today and it's way easier than it was. Now, in a sense, it is way easier, but the cars aren't easy to drive. It's not that modern Formula 1 cars are easy to drive. It's that old F1 cars were really difficult. Like, they threw everything out in terms of usability to just for outright speed. Like, look how much boost this has. Look how much lag there is in the turbo, but how much power it produces. Like, this is insane. It's hard to even drive, but it's quick. You know, it requires a certain level of skill, whereas modern F1 cars are designed to be driven efficiently. They're not easy to drive, but they're designed to be driven efficiently and safely. I probably released this video about a week after I recorded it. I'm recording this on the 22nd of March, which is the day after Senna's birthday. He would have been 60. That was useless shifting, come on. Ooh. Okay. Should have been in second, but I still made it work. How about that? New fastest lap, and I am 13 seconds slower than Ayrton Senna. So, that was quite something. So, if you enjoyed that, please like the video. This was quite hard to do. And if you're new here, do subscribe, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. It'll be easier now with the coronavirus. I'll have plenty of time to do stuff like this. So what more can I say? But have a good day. See you out on the track.
And Senna goes for it. Had it then. A Grand Prix racing phenomenon. His target is Nelson Piquet's time of 1 minute 7.063. 1 minute 7.063. And Ayrton Senna has achieved, as I said earlier on, 12 pole positions in a very short Grand Prix career, which started in 1984 with the then Tolman team, from which he departed in controversial circumstances to join Lotus in 1985, and my goodness, he's trying. the most intense man in Grand Prix racing. He's just going to avoid being balked by the car in front of him. And Senna, with an old head on his young shoulders, has an incredible gift of finding a clear lap. He's done it. 1 minute 7.55 according to my timing, and the official time is 1 minute 7.524, which means